Alright, so the Eagles are moving on to the divisional round after gutting out a gritty win over the Packers, but it certainly wasn't pretty, as some struggles by Jalen Hurts and the Birds offense may have some fans a little bit worried. But even so, the Eagles themselves aren't too worried about it, as it seems that Hurts and the offense will only get better from here. Meanwhile, the Eagles defense sent a message by absolutely bullying Jordan Love and the Packers offense, but while there were several exciting plays and performances, a pretty serious injury to a key player did put a damper on things. So what's the latest on that? And also, despite the win being ugly, why should the NFC still fear the Philadelphia Eagles moving forward in these playoffs? Well, we're going to talk about that and everything else from the Eagles win on Wildcard Weekend starting right now. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Philly Fan 21 channel. If you're new, I'm Evan and I cover all things Philadelphia Eagles. And man, it wasn't perfect by any means, but at the end of the day, a win is a win, especially in the playoffs, because all that really matters at this point is surviving and getting to that next game. And that's exactly what the Birds did in this matchup with the Packers, as an elite showing from the defense, some timely moments from the offense, and just some all-around physical play propelled the Eagles into the divisional round, where they will host yet another game at home against the winner of the Vikings-Rams game later tonight. So again, despite how it looked, really all that matters to Jalen Hurts and the rest of the guys is that they won and they get to move on.
I gotta watch the film, be able to look at some things, take some notes of things, and have some conversations, but ultimately, playoff football is about winning.
Does it matter how you win this time of year?
You know that doesn't matter. You know that doesn't matter. It's all about winning, you know, and that's the only thing. You know, we've gotten to the point we are, so it's about finding ways to win.
We got to be our biggest critic, and that's what we're going to be, and we're going to see where we can improve on. But at the end of the day, you know, the opinions that's for you guys. Only thing that really matters is how we win. Whether we throw for 400 yards, we rush for 400 yards, or we win the game 3-0. I don't give a to be honest. Like, I just want to win. And I think that's the mindset of the team. I know that's the mindset of the team, and we'll go back, we'll watch film, we'll improve, and get ready for whatever we got next.
Yeah, I mean, again, it wasn't flashy, but the Birds found a way to get the job done, and that's all that matters. And honestly, I mean, if you look at it the right way, I think the Eagles still clearly sent a message in this game with what they were able to do. And DeVonta Smith certainly sent a message of his own ahead of the game, as he posted this photo of Caesar from the Planet of the Apes movies on his Instagram story, which, if you know anything about those movies, that clearly signals that he and his teammates were ready for war in these playoffs. Now, the Eagles certainly seemed ready for battle to begin the game, as to open things up, linebacker Oren Burks laid a massive hit on Packers kick returner Keyshawn Nixon, which actually caused him to fumble the ball, and the Birds recovered it, giving possession to Jalen Hurts and the offense in great field position. And they immediately capitalized, as a nice Saquon Barkley run set them up in the red zone before Jalen Hurts scanned the field and found Jahan Dotson for his first Eagles touchdown to put Philly up 7-0 less than 2 minutes into the ballgame. And while a ton of people deserve credit on this play, it's only right that we first show Dotson some love, because he's a guy who has had to take a backseat this year just with all the other talent the Eagles have on offense, yet he's stepped up whenever he has been given an opportunity, and there's probably no bigger example of that than this play. So Jalen Hurts made sure to give him his flowers after the game.
And that's a great job by him, staying alive, and working the back of the end zone. Jahan's just kind of played his role. You know, coach gives very specific roles to what guys are expected to do, and he's just kind of been there. And when his number's called, when his opportunity's there, he makes a play. And so he's been doing great.
Again, shout out to Dotson for stepping up, and hopefully he can continue to do that as the Birds move on in the playoffs. But probably the best part about this play was that it really took everybody. Like, whether it was Dotson catching the pass, Jalen remaining calm and finding him, or the offensive line literally stonewalling the Packers rush for what felt like a good 8 seconds. I mean, there's just a lot of people to thank for this play.
Yeah, obviously great protection, and that takes a lot of patience for a quarterback. When in that particular case, when you're not on rhythm, but you're not getting pressured to actually stay and go, you know, he just was very calm, cool, collective. Obviously, great job by the offensive line to keep that protection for that long. And then Jahan found his way he kind of fought through some contact and found his way to get open. So, you know, it was a full team effort there, and it really is a spectacular play by Jalen and the offensive line there, and then Jahan finishing it.
Yeah, so I couldn't agree more with Sirianni there, and this is all not even mentioning the fact that this play was really all made possible by that forced fumble and recovery on special teams, so this truly was just an example of the whole team coming together to help the Birds get an extremely early lead. Unfortunately though, after that perfect start for the Birds, things did slow down significantly on offense, as they really weren't able to get much else going in that first half. Now, to be fair, Hurts actually started the game 6 for 6 on his throws, and they did break off a few nice runs with both Hurts and Saquon Barkley. The problem is just that they weren't really moving the ball and sustaining drives consistently, as the Birds had 5 more drives in that first half, but 4 of them resulted in punts, and the only drive that did end in points was actually a drive that got down into the red zone, but it stalled out, so they had to settle for 3 there. So safe to say, things were not going according to plan for the offense, nor were they going to plan for Jalen Hurts, as he finished the half 6 for 13 after starting 6 for 6 with just 39 yards passing. And watching the game, it was clear that Hurts was not only off target with some of his throws, but he was really just out of rhythm, and the timing with his receivers was definitely off. So even though he denied it after the game, I think it's safe to say that Hurts may have been a little bit rusty after missing a lot of time with his concussion. And probably the worst thing about Hurts in the offense's lackluster start is that they failed to capitalize on what was just an incredible first half performance by the defense, as not only did they hold Green Bay scoreless, but they also gave the offense a couple extra opportunities. And of course, I'm talking about the 2 turnovers that they were able to force in that first half, starting with none other than big play Slay snagging his first career playoff interception on this incredibly impressive over-the-shoulder catch on the deep shot from Jordan Love. I mean, what a play this was by the 12th year veteran, and safe to say he was pretty excited about it.
My foot was smooth, man. That was my first career playoff pick too, man. That thing was nice. I like, oh, it slid it in front of you, and then I just caught that. And then when I caught it, I was ready. I was lit, you know what I'm saying? I know I ain't gonna say goose egg, but I went goose egg during the season, but now I ain't no goose egg no more. But I'm counting mines. I don't give a damn what they talking about. I ain't goose egg. I got 1 pick of the season, you know, so it was good, man. I just try to do what I can do to make the play for the defense and for this team, because I want to win, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I want to win.
Now, Slay wasn't the only one who got a pick in that first half, as with under 2 minutes to go in the half, the all-pro linebacker Zack Baun made an incredible play as he read Jordan Love's eyes and stepped in front of a pass to Malik Heath for the interception. And Slay had some pretty high praise for the linebacker regarding that play.
That was one of the best plays I've seen in a long time as a linebacker. Like, he was throwing to my dude. I was going to be a bang-bang play, so I'll try to break it up. But to see him just come out of the picture like, choo, choo, I said, oh, boy. I told him, Team Light Skin, we winning. Team Light Skin. I told him, Team Light Skin, we are winning, baby.
These certainly were 2 incredible plays by 2 great players to give the Eagles offense extra opportunities, and overall, again, it was an incredible effort by the defense as a whole in that first half, as again, they held Green Bay scoreless through the first 2 frames. But as I said, the problem was just that the offense couldn't capitalize off those turnovers, as they scored 0 points off those 2 first half interceptions, so that's a couple of huge missed opportunities there, and that's an area that the guys know that they have to be better at moving forward.
You know, we gotta find our rhythm early in the game, and you know, I think first and foremost our defense played their tails off, and created turnovers, and I think ultimately, you know, when you have those opportunities, you got to take advantage of them, and that starts with me.
We got to do a better job of making plays when they create turnovers. I think we only scored 1 touchdown off a turnover. I think we created 3 or 4 maybe because the pick at the end. We got to score points off of that. That's why I think we got to do a better job, and I think we all agree on that.
The big issue with not capitalizing off these turnovers is that it's really what kept the Packers in the ballgame in the first half. I mean, like Saquon said, the Eagles wound up forcing 4 turnovers in this game, 3 of them in the first half, yet the offense was only able to score 7 points off of them. And that's really the difference between it being a 24-0 ballgame at halftime or what it actually was, which was 10-0. So safe to say, again, the Eagles offense just has to be better at that, and really just in general moving forward. However, despite the Eagles offensive struggles, their worst development of the first half came on the defensive side of the ball, as after making a great play, linebacker Nakobe Dean sadly went down after the play and had to be helped off the field before eventually being carted off to the locker room with what was deemed a knee injury that seemed pretty serious from the look of it. And the worst news of all came after the game, as John Clark tweeted out this photo of Nakobe leaving on crutches and with a pretty large brace on that left knee. And now today, it was just confirmed that Dean is going to miss the rest of the year and possibly the start of next season with a torn patellar tendon. So that's just horrible news, and not only do you just feel bad for him, but he was also just playing at an extremely high level, so not having him out there definitely hurts the defense. And his teammates seem to agree that he will be missed.
Yeah, it's a tremendous loss. He's a guy that came in and battled. Last year was really a learning year for him, and I felt like he took full advantage of it and really became a key leader on the defense. But as a teammate, he's one of the best teammates we have. It's gonna be hard to replace him.
Yeah, obviously it hurts for you. Just seeing the guy go down, because that's all we want to see is the guy stay healthy and make plays and help the team. So don't know how bad it is, but I'll definitely be keeping him in my prayers, checking in on him, and he's just been a great leader for us on defense. Like I said earlier, I feel like he's one of the unsung heroes. The defense, like getting everybody in the right spots, being physical, like just commanding respect from top down. And he's done a phenomenal job this year. So.
Man, it hurt my heart. As soon as I walked in here with seeing him in here, I prayed. And then I was the first one there, and he told me, I tried to help him up, he said. And I just immediately closed my eyes and prayed right there, just because to a lot of people, man, it's a game. This is a game to them. This is, it's just football. It's just football, man. This is our livelihood. Man, he works so hard, and his determination, and he just one of those guys that I just feel like, I can lean on and ask for anything, and he'll give me the clothes off his back, the food off his plate.
I honestly think even in this game, as much as I think Oren Burks is a solid backup, you could see a clear negative difference just in the Eagles defense over the middle of the field in the run game and just tackling wise when Nakobe went out with the injury. So again, losing him is definitely a big blow. That said, at least the backup Oren Burks seems ready to step up, and his teammates seem to have confidence in him as well.
I'm ready. I mean, the whole year just waiting for an opportunity, and they've been playing really well, like Nakobe and Zach, and just been really proud of the room. Like everybody's, even Trotter, like when we get in that last game, he shows up and makes plays. So it's just the mentality that we have in the room. It's just like next man up mentality. So.
My confidence and the team's confidence is super high. I mean, especially him being able to play these last few plays, these last few games is really big for him and his confidence. So I'm excited for him. I'm excited for what he can bring to this defense.
Hopefully, Burks can come in and play at a pretty high level in Nakobe's absence moving forward, but again, it is just hard to imagine that he can play as good as Dean was, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But on the bright side, things finally did start to turn around for the Eagles offense in the second half, as Dallas Goedert reminded us just how good he is with a spectacular play. And don't worry, we're going to get into that and so much more in just a minute, but real quick, I do want to say, if you are enjoying this video and you don't want to miss any other Eagles coverage or content just like this coming throughout the rest of this entire Eagles playoff run, as well as moving forward after that, then make sure you subscribe and also really importantly turn on notifications so you are notified instantly when one of these videos is uploaded. Trust me, you guys are not going to want to miss any of the Eagles coverage or content I got coming on this channel. I cover the Birds pretty much daily here, so if you want to stay up to date on all the latest Eagles news, this is the spot. So again, subscribe and turn on notifications, and also drop a like to show some support because it really does help me out a ton. Let's see if we can get to 700 likes today. And now, with all that being said, let's get back into the video. Now, as I said, the Eagles offense finally started to figure things out in the second half, as after the Packers pulled the score to 10-3, Jalen Hurts and the guys finally started to get into a bit of a rhythm after some halftime adjustments, according to Lane Johnson. As a third down conversion on a rollout and throw to DeVonta Smith for 28 yards sparked things for Philly, and then a couple plays later, Jalen Hurts made a check at the line before throwing a quick pass to Dallas Goedert, and the star tight end did the rest, as he ran right through a defender's face before giving him two strong stiff arms and getting into the end zone for the 24-yard touchdown. I mean, man, what an awesome play this was by Goedert, and you just gotta love the physicality and violence that he showed here. And his teammates loved it as well.
It's great. It's aggressive, grown man ball.
I mean, he's a dog. I've known that for a long time, being here for a year and going against him for the last 7 years. But yeah, you miss a guy like that. We didn't have him for a long time. Grant stepped up, did a great job for us when in his absence. All the tight ends stepped up. But he's a playmaker too. We kind of get lost and when you talk about our guys, but at the end of the day, he's one of the best tight ends in the league, and we're going to need all of us. Anytime when it's our time to make a play, we need to make it, and he was one of those guys.
Dallas plays physical, man, and he showed it right there. He's one of those guys that every time he gets the ball in his hand, he's trying to bully somebody, and he did it there.
Now, unfortunately, after Goedert's amazing play, Jake Elliott missed the extra point, and then Josh Jacobs had a physical run of his own that set the Packers up right at the goal line before he eventually got in for the touchdown. So this was a 6-point ball game to start the fourth quarter, 16-10, and the Eagles had to find a way to respond. And the good news is they did that, as even though it wasn't very flashy or very easy, they found a way to put together a long 13-play, 7.5-minute drive that, although it eventually stalled out in the red zone, still got them 3 very valuable points at that point in the game. And then after the defense stepped up and forced a turnover on downs, the offense was able to gain some more yardage and muster 3 more points to put the Birds up 22-10. And this came with the help of an unnecessary roughness penalty where Packers defensive lineman TJ Slaton pushed Saquon Barkley to the ground well after the whistle, and that gave us this absolute gem where Barkley's just standing there holding up the first down signal. And also, how about Jalen Hurts stepping up to the 6'4", 331-pound Slaton in defense of Barkley? I mean, if you ask me, it's pretty awesome to see your quarterback doing that in a heated playoff game, but what might be more awesome is what the Fox broadcast caught A.J. Brown doing on the sideline. As after the first of those 2 field goal drives by the offense, A.J. was seen on the sideline reading from a book called Inner Excellence by Jim Murphy, which is something that he apparently does after every drive. And the reason why he does it is pretty awesome.
That's a book that I bring every single game. And, you know, my teammates call it a recipe. You know, that's the first time I heard that y'all got me on camera. But it's not the first game. You know, it got a lot of points in there. It's a lot of mental game, a lot of mental parts about it. And, you know, because for me, you know, this game is mental. You know, I physically believe I can do anything and everything, but, you know, I got to make sure I'm mental good. So it's something like how I refresh every drive. You know, regardless of if I score a touchdown or I drop a pass, I always go back to that book every drive and just refocus, and nothing matters, nothing happens, and just relog back in.
Man, if this doesn't show you that Brown is just locked in and completely obsessed with getting better in every way possible, then I don't know what will. Because reading books like this is a habit consistent among very successful people, and the fact that AJ is doing this during games to stay focused and level-headed is pretty freaking awesome if you ask me. Oh, and in case you had the same concern as some of the Philly media that Brown reading was somehow a sign of him being frustrated, he shut that down after the game as well.
No, I was not frustrated at all. I figured that's what y'all probably thought. I wasn't frustrated. Why y'all always think I'd be frustrated? Like, hey, I read the book. Yeah, I like to read. So.
Now, on the final offensive drive of the game for the Packers, 2 young Eagles defensive stars made their presence felt. First being edge rusher Nolan Smith, as the Georgia Bulldogs sacked Jordan Love on the first play of the drive for what was actually his 2nd sack of the day, as his first one came all the way back in the first quarter on a 3rd down, which got the Packers offense off the field. And overall, Nolan Smith really made his presence felt all night long, as he ended up with 8 total tackles, 5 pressures, 4 hurries, 2 sacks, and 2 tackles for loss, in what was probably the best game of Nolan's young career so far. So it's safe to say that he's grown a lot in his 2nd year in the league, and he deserves a tremendous amount of credit for what he's been able to do. And so does the rookie Quinyon Mitchell, who finally came up with his first interception on the final play of this drive to pretty much seal things up for the Birds. So that was definitely awesome to see, and shout out to Q for finally getting one. And then Saquon Barkley officially ended things when the Birds offense got out there, as not only did he go over 100 yards for the day, but he also broke off what could have been a massive touchdown run, but he just slid down and allowed Jalen Hurts to nail the clock out on the way to a 22-10 wild card win over the Green Bay Packers. And look, again, this game was definitely not pretty by any means, but at the same time, if you really think about it, this game really only reinforced that the rest of the remaining NFC teams should not want to see the Eagles in the playoffs moving forward. I mean, again, think about it. This is really about the worst I can possibly imagine the Eagles playing, especially offensively, yet they still found a way to just gut out a win against a very good Packers team. They set the tone from the jump, and they just played physical the entire night, and we've seen that be the formula for them before in beating some of these good teams. And they did it again in this game versus the Packers, where again, offensively, they didn't play anywhere near close to their standard or potential. And moving forward, there is no question in my mind that they're gonna be better, because obviously this game was Jalen Hurts' first game back from a concussion after he hasn't played a full game in basically a month. But the more he practices and plays, the better he will perform, and the better the Birds' passing game and overall offense will be in turn. Like, again, there is no doubt in my mind that the offense is going to be much better moving forward, and you can even see that in how it slightly improved throughout the course of this game. Plus, Hurts honestly wasn't horrible, as he threw 2 touchdowns, he had a passer rating of over 100, and most importantly, he didn't turn the ball over. And again, he's only going to get better. Meanwhile, Saquon Barkley and the Eagles still were able to gut things out in the run game, as Saquon finished with over 100 yards again. And then on the defensive side of the ball, obviously losing Nakobe Dean really hurts, but they are still such an incredibly dominant unit. And with the way that they performed in this game, I don't have any reason for my confidence to waver in them. So again, I honestly think that the rest of the NFC should be terrified of this Eagles team. And I know a lot of people have said this, but this game kind of reminded me of that Falcons playoff game back in 2017 before the Birds offense exploded on their way to a Super Bowl victory. So again, I am still very confident in this team moving forward in the playoffs. And their next chance is going to be this Sunday at 3 o'clock against either the Vikings or the Rams. So you guys already know that I'm going to be covering all the news leading into that matchup. So if you don't want to miss any of that, then make sure you subscribe, and also really importantly, turn on those notifications so you don't miss anything. And also, again, make sure you drop a like to show some support if you did enjoy this video. Again, let's see if we can get to 700 likes today. And also, leave a comment down below. Give me your thoughts on the Eagles' win over the Packers in the wild card round. And also, if you want to watch another Eagles video, you can check this one out right here. And now with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.